Hey everybody, Teal here. Welcome to a new vlog this week. I am a freelance artist working towards becoming a full-time freelance artist. So this weekend I did a few paintings and some sketching. This painting you see here is from this picture of my partner and someone holding hands, and it was just really, really beautiful. Like the picture itself reminded me of a Renaissance painting because of the way there was like a dark background and how like warm the skin tones were. I just thought it was really beautiful. So I painted that. That's what you see here. I'm wetting up the paper to make a bit of an underlayer for the background, because even though it's black, I wanted it to be like colorful black, if that makes sense. So that's what's happening there. I'm using my Winsor Newton professional watercolors, which were very kindly gifted to me from All J Art. Her name is Amanda. You should check her out. It is Saturday, February 27th at the start of this video. I think it's still morning time. Before this, like before what you're seeing, I went to Walmart to pick up a whole bunch of pet stuff. We were out of rabbit bedding and rabbit food and cat litter and cat food. So that was a necessary trip. And then I dropped off my books that were due at the library. I just finished reading Zammy, A New Spelling of My Name, which was really good. A little bit slow, but overall I liked it in the end. And then I also read My Dark Vanessa, which was also pretty good. And I read 300 of its pages in like one day because it was due and I couldn't renew it. And I just couldn't, like, I have a thing where if I start something, especially if I start a book, I have to finish it. Like, no matter what, I can't like just leave a book halfway. Eventually I'll get back to it if I own it. But if it's like from the library, gotta do it. But yeah, so this weekend, you'll see here, I've been playing a lot of Civilization. I've had it for a long time. I just didn't play it that much because the first couple of countries that I built, I was like immediately destroyed in, and I wasn't doing well. But I thought I'd try it again, and so far so good. I feel like it's about time. I'm the kind of person who will wait and wait and wait and not go to war until someone goes to war with me. So I'm waiting on that, and I feel like it's getting really close to that point where like someone needs to go to war with me. So yeah, that's what's been going on there. And then my friend Gabby came over and we tried out some paint pouring because my mom had sent me this paint pouring kit. I never really thought I'd be interested in it, and I was right. I learned, like, I wanted to make a really big one and just, go out with a bang. I meant to film more of this, but I forgot. But I didn't realize how much, like, excess of paint you need. I didn't realize, like, you need so much, and I didn't have that much. So it didn't turn out how I expected it to. I mean, it's okay. I don't hate it. Gabby's little ones came out really good because she had a whole bunch of, like, paint on hers. Mirage. Lay down. She had a whole bunch of paint on hers, so they came out really good. And then we realized towards the end how, like, we were wondering how long does it take to dry, and for her to take hers home and like for me to hang mine up, and we looked it up and it takes 24 to 72 hours. And so those are vicariously set up in a closet that we don't use on top of a computer box trying to dry. Because we also, you'll see a little clip later, we're watching Jazz's brother's dog this weekend, and she's very clumsy and awkward and curious, so this was definitely not going to be able to stay here. So yeah, I'll maybe in my next vlog I'll be able to put the paint, I guess you call it a painting. I'll put the painting up and show you guys a little bit closer of a view once it's all dry. And then we very quickly get to this morning. Today's Sunday the 28th. I basically just pop in my headphones, start watching. I think I started watching Liz V Art's vlog, and ate some oatmeal, drank some coffee and some water. I went to sleep last night with a really bad migraine, and it lasted through the night. Like, I woke up with it, which really sucked. And then also I have really intense lower back pain, which is really unusual for me. Okay, so my partner called me in the middle of doing the voiceover, so I don't know what I was talking about. But yeah, so I'm working on February. It's the last day of February, which is nice. I was starting to get to the point where I was like, this is like taking up a lot of space in my sketchbook, and I really want to be able to be a bit more creative. And Sundays are always long for February. That's their thing. Just even for their regular videos, Sundays are always longer sessions. And the last part of the session was interesting. You had to draw the same pose, but they changed the lighting for each set of 5 minutes. So that was it was a little bit difficult. Definitely interesting, a tiny bit monotonous, having to draw the same pose 3 times. I'm the kind of person who just doesn't really like to do the same thing over and over again, unless it's like really, really tedious work. Like, if my job involved doing, like, filling out a whole bunch of forms over and over again, you got it, I'll do it. Or typing a bunch of things over and over again, you got it, I like it. But when it comes to like art, drawing the same thing over and over again, not so much. I'm trying to like teach myself to like it because it's important. But yeah. So now you see me painting. I painted this lemon for my 100 palettes challenge. This new set of palettes that I'm in is for the color ochre, and all the colors were yellow, so I searched yellow in Unsplash, and I found a nice lemon with a yellow background. And then here's Mirage, Jazz's brother's dog that we're watching. She's part German Shepherd, part something else. I'm not petting her because I'm very allergic to her. And then there's Evie. And just like a show of my desk, I was watching Apple Cheeks live. And then I scanned in my sketchbook for Patreon. So once I finish about I want to say 20 pages, I'll scan in all my drawings for Patreon and show them PDF scans of my sketchbook and what I've been working on. I talk a little bit about my process or my favorites and stuff like that. I'm really excited to go into March with like a really good idea of what I'm doing. I changed a couple of my tiers a little bit, and instead of real-time videos, I'm going to be doing sketch and chat videos. I've done one so far, and it was actually like really nice to do. So I look forward to doing more of those. And yeah, Patreon's been really great. It's just been a little bit weird because I've had the same amount of patrons like the whole time. It hasn't changed or anything. So it's like a little bit disheartening in that I'm not getting more, but it's also like really solidifying to know that like no one's really leaving. Everyone's staying with me and sticking around, which is like, it just makes me feel great that people want to support me like that. And yeah, so I'm here, I'm cropping all of them and putting them into a single PDF. I share them in a PDF form and in an image form because when I'm personally looking at other artists' sketchbook images on Patreon, I like the PDF on my phone because it doesn't force you to download it and you can look through the pictures faster. When you're looking through just straight images from like a Patreon post, for me, it feels like it loads too slow, which is like kind of silly, but that's how I feel about it. So I offer both options. That way everybody can do whatever they feel most comfortable doing. Then after that, I work in my sketchbook a little bit. I feel relieved that like I'm done with February and can do whatever I want now, but it's also a little bit scary because now I have to like try to think of things to do. But I drew a couple of faces because during February, I felt like I wasn't drawing heads correctly. Like I couldn't connect the heads to the bodies. And that felt really scary for me because I've always like felt like I could draw heads pretty okay and like faces. So I drew a couple of heads, got a little bit weird with it. I'm getting these references from Pinterest just because even though like I like Unsplash in that you can find images that you can use without copyright, I like that Pinterest has more variety. Like Unsplash, I feel like doesn't update that often, and then their search algorithm isn't always fantastic, probably because of the way like people tag their pictures. And I just don't have the time to get creative with it. Like I just want to search portrait and get what I want, or like people of color portrait and get what I need. So that's what I did. I ended up, this drawing here, I actually really like it, this one that I'm starting. I turned the bust, like the portrait bust, into a knife. So like the bust part is the hilt, and then there's a knife attached to it, like a dagger. And I really like it, so I did it digitally too. And I think I'm going to make it the coloring page for March for my patrons. Because it's just, I don't know, it just looks powerful, and yeah, I don't know, I like it a lot. In the digital version, I didn't make it curved at the end. And then after this, I draw... What do I draw after this? Oh, by the way, if you're interested, I love this pen so much. I got it from an Art Snacks box. It's the Kuretake... Oh no, what is it? It starts with an H, I think. Yeah, the writing rubbed off of the tag. But it's Kuretake, and it's so good. I've mentioned it in like a video before, so if you really want to know, you can go find it. I think it was like HID, and then somewhere in it is like 2 Ks and an E and an I, something like that. I don't know. But I love it. It's great. It's got versatility to it. You can make like pretty thick lines, but also pretty thin lines. And it's just really soft and nice to use. I made this like portrait with a bird's nest in the face instead of a face. And then I started to draw this portrait a bit up close for you guys. I was holding the camera, so I'm sorry if it's like shaky and weird. I was going for more of a side profile because that was another thing I struggled with in when drawing the heads for February. And this one doesn't get weird. It just looks like a person. It kept like the head kept looking too flat, so I kept like bringing the back of the head out more and like cutting off the chin and the lip a little bit. But overall, I like how it came out. And yeah, that's the end of this vlog. I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys next week. Thanks.